So, meet up with this caravan, and you set off on your journey. The journey takes 20 days for you to travel. You can tell that they're taking a relatively slow pace, and they're making lots of stops for several of the elven party to get out, have a scout around. You're also noticing that a couple of them are foraging nearby to supplement the
Hmm.
dried
Oh,
meals with fresh fruit.
oh, I will forage happily with them. That's like something that I do. Oh, and then I wanted to make one more quick note. Something I'll do in the amount of time before we leave is just I will insist that I take that map that they had.
Mm.
I insist that I will take that, and I need my study time with it. And I
Okay.
will just like totally like zone out on that thing and just encode it into my brain. So
Okay.
I'm like a living GPS system.
So it's probably a survival, I'd imagine.
Oh, do you like do a
Hmm.
roll for it or something or?
I believe with the Outlander,
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
just an automatic
It's an
Oh, is it
automatic thing
now?
that I do.
proof you know it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Once I
okay.
like study it, man, it's like that it's burned into my memory.
Nice.
Yes, here we go. You have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and you can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. Full stop.
Okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, so I would
Yeah.
assume that then that studying a map would be like an intensified version of that
Mhm.
instead of
Yeah.
just kind of like wandering the area and kind of getting it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. With
In that time too, I would engage Silen in a little bit of discussion about her militaristic training.
yes, that's what you were going to do. Okrim.
Yep.
Uh, is there someone that you're specifically wanted to learn a spell from?
No, 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 no. That was a response to the question placed in chat.
I was discussing learning profession, languages and skills.
Right.
Ah, right. Okay.
Side
My
So
conversation for
apologies.
later on.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
that's a conversation for later on. That was just a like, would it work like this kind of situation,
All right.
or
Yes,
could you work it like this situation?
I have some input on that. Okay, so you travel along for this 20 days. Over those 20 days, speaking with Silin, you learn that she's uh, been in combat herself, and that there was a skirmish recently that involved quite a mess of lower orders of Dragonborn, as she calls it. But that's far to the east, where there's a couple of settlements that they're friendly with, and so they were deployed in what is ostensibly friendly territory, because the wars ended. They're not in open warfare with anyone. Um, but oftentimes you'll get lower orders of Dragonborn, as she constantly refers to them as those lower orders. And you can tell that she means the chromatics, and they'll often band together in gangs, go and cause trouble in small communities and things. So they were dispatched to go and help protect mountain dwarf villages and a few drow encampments
Oh
uh,
wow.
from these people.
Very
Uh,
interesting.
they weren't well received there, but you tell that Silin skirts past that very quickly and just says that the locals are more used to more local help than what they offered.
I myself have traveled into those lands on a few missions. I understand the looks, the appreciation. It always seems to be not quite enough.
Hmm. Quite. The journey
Uh,
seems to be mostly uneventful. Beyond that, you travel through grasslands and forests, which give way to rolling hillsides that starts to break away into a sparse tundra and heather sort of situation. And then you see Bunstead. This is a tall town, always described as a town rather than a city. This is something where the buildings are routinely 3 stories tall. The walls go up even higher than that. They're mostly brick and stone down at the bottom, supported by further wood constructions higher up. As you approach, you see that there are also a small smattering of goblin heads on sticks to the left side of the gate as you approach.
Whoa. They're serious about their goblins. We don't like them.
Yes.
I'll approach Vilred and say, "This is very, very beautifully and effective architecture. What do you know of this area?"
I've never been myself. I've sent a few aides in this direction. My understanding is that it's a fairly small community of farmers that try to look after themselves, evidently resorting to means of force to do so.
Yeah, it appears they have done a very good job of creating a defensible home for farmers.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is a paradox of a town, if you don't mind my saying so.
Uh,
How can some simple farmers construct something this elaborate?
Oh, my understanding is that this is based on a former mountain dwarf stronghold that the
Oh,
hill dwarves took
yes.
over, and subsequent owners have
Oh, yeah.
modified
You said that, Eridu. I just weren't listening when you said that the first time.
it.
Yes, my understanding of history is slightly different, but I will not argue with a historian.
I am always open to the fact that history is something that's sometimes open to interpretation, especially with my line of work. Often you'll have a particular word or phrase that could mean love in one language and hatred in another. The truth is sometimes somewhere in the middle. Facts can get a little skewed. But the reason why we're here is because I have verified my facts. We should be in and out fairly quickly, and we'll be able
And
to complete our task.
your facts lie in the desert.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tell me, what do you know that is out there? I've not been myself.
I fear I've probably said a little too much. Perhaps this is something that would be best discussed upon our return.
I look forward to the discussion.
Yes. Entering through the town gates, which are opened up for you, and they're very promptly closed after you, you see that this is a place of Gothic architecture. There's lots of ornate gargoyles and shapes, flowers, and religious symbols carved into the side of every building. Spires on the tops of most of the buildings, a combination of wood and stone. And you see that there are lots of overhangs, lots of walkways that come out of one building and just stop midway over a street. There are people standing there on these ledges, just overlooking the town. You've got a town crier in the temple overhang who is yelling about the day's news, mostly about prices in the marketplace. And you see that there's a massive stables set in the center, which the caravan pulls up to.
Wow.
Everyone piles out. They say that they are going to make an immediate move out the other gates to the north and into the desert, and that you are perfectly welcome to stay here, look after the caravan, or, as was discussed on the harbour, if you really wanted to join them in the desert, you're free to do so.
Absolutely not, but thank you for the offer.
Eridu is going to sit crisscross in them as soon as he gets out of the caravan, just in the dirt. Pull out a stack of cards, shuffle it together, and draw the first one.
Give me an Arcana check.
I will do that.
Fancy a game, Eridu? We got time to kill.
This is no time for games. There are decisions to be made.
Oh, is that so?
18.
18. You draw from the deck of cards, and you draw the 5 of swords.
Oh shit.
Are there? So has all the other elves have left off to the desert? It's just the three of us?
They're on their way. If you were really wanting to catch up to them, you could do. If you were wanting to just let them go and be on your own, then that is where we will be.
Well, I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Something bugs me. I'm
Yes.
not gonna lie.
Something is not right here.
I want to go.
Yeah. What say you, Eigner?
Why do you want to go into the desert? That doesn't make any sense. Why do you want to go in there? It's so inhospitable. We just spent all this time on a treacherous road trying to get here so that we could relax, and I don't know, I wanted to explore a little more of Boonstead myself, like this was kind of the destination for me.
How many elves are there in our full company, excluding the three of us? Obviously, we're not elves. Well,
Yes. The elven company from the Tackentire contingent totaled 8. That included one that seemed to only be a wagon driver, but he's also gone with them into the desert.
So no soldiers.
There are no soldiers left behind in Bunstead. All the rest of the party were soldiers, however. So there was a wagon driver, there was Vilren, who was the historian, and 6 soldiers, one of which was Silin, who was the daughter of the general.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I agree with Okrim. I think that we should go into the desert.
Give me one good reason why.
This is why.
I don't understand what that means. You gotta explain it to me. I'm not as smart as you.
Okrim, I believe that we are sitting on the precipice of something bigger than we know. Something that could change the way that our lives are lived. I do not
don't know if I would
believe.
say that, but I think that there's something.
Do you know who the Tackentire are?
Yeah.
Why militaristic elves would be so far south on the borders of twin harbors, traveling into 2 friendly territories? Something is brewing here. Something that will affect those around us. We are part of it now. If we do not at least know what it is, we cannot make a decision on how we will act in these situations. I do not like having my future planned for me through the actions of others. I will go. If you two do not wish to come, I understand. But Okrim, it sounds as though you are with me.
I am with you. There's I don't necessarily share your concerns of a grander picture. But something is sitting uneasy in my stomach, and I've always learned to trust my gut. My first that's one thing that Zoye always taught me was always listen to your gut, because you can always listen to your first instinct and kind of correct later.
Well, if you two go without me, you will die. And I don't want you to die. So just let me fill just let me fill up my water skins, at least.
Thank you so much for your vote of confidence.
Yeah.
I think even with Eigner, there's still a good chance of us dying. I don't know about you, but I've never been into the deserts before. I don't think it's a safe place.
No, it's not, which is why I don't think we should go. But apparently this journey wasn't hard enough for you two.
Well, I mean, the journey was not exactly difficult.
I don't know, a little bit of a bumpy ride and dry food. It wasn't that hard.
Right. No. There's no reason we get paid that much to go on a bumpy ride and some stale conversation with elves. No offense.
They were quite dull and very elusive.
Yes. I say I say we see what's going on.
For sure.
All right, let me fill up my water skins first. If we're gonna go into a desert, I'm gonna make sure my water skins are full.
Yeah, we'll all fill water
Like,
skins.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Wise words were never spoken.
Eigner sees that a few of the water skins were left behind in the wagon as well. There's another 6 empty water skins.
Alright.
Sorry, not empty. They've been filled by the elves before they headed off from the town well, but they left them behind because of bag space.
Okay.
You know that by examining the map, there's quite a bit of desert. There's like 50 square miles
Yeah.
of desert to the north here.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So 2 water skins each. That's I have
Two
four
water
of, four of them.
We truck it and catch up with the elves as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It should be noted that I actually carry a sword on me at all times, a short sword, and
Okay.
it looks kind of like in the style of the Chinese short sword with a little tassel on the end. I can't think of what those are called.
Oh, dope.
Wushu sword.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's in that style, so.
nice.
All right. So I guess
I had another water skin, so I fill up my 3rd water skin, just so you know.
Okay. You leave through the northern gate, and can I ask what the marching order is for everyone?
I'm in the middle.
I guess I'll go. I guess I'll go first. But
Well,
I don't know. You are faster than us. Like, do you want to try and take some kind of point and reconnaissance position?
Yeah, I'll head forward. I also actually have a stealth check, and kind of one of the things is Eridu has a way of just being there. Like, people just kind of turn around and there he's standing.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'll like run ahead and kind of keep an eye on things until we catch up with the elves.
Okay.
Or negative
They
stealth.
were certainly making a lot of speed when they left. For you to be able to try and catch up and be stealthy, you would have a disadvantage to your stealth check.
Do I need to be stealthy? Do you guys think?
It's entirely up to you.
They
I don't think so. They said that we'd be welcome to come.
Okay, yeah. So we're not trying to sneak up on them. So I'm just trying to be up as an advanced scout in case there's anything that tries to come after us.
Right. So we're kind of trucking along. One of us clanging around, the other one, I don't know, not as loud. And you just make it to them first and let them know that we're on our way.
Yeah, I can do that.
Almost as if it's a stark contrast between night and day. When it starts to get to about midday, you've made your way along fairly rocky and craggy terrain until a sheer cliff appears, and down on the floor, sand. It seems to be a good 60 feet below you. There appears to be a slope down to your right that takes you down a rough path down, but it looks like it certainly wasn't carved by hand. It just seems to be something that's akin to a desire line. A few people have taken this path, and so it's roughly worn this sort of footpath winding down. But it's harsh from grey stone to sand, and the desert seems to just stretch on. You can also feel the heat coming from this place, and there are strong winds. You can hear them howling.
Is there is there any other tracks?
You can spot some tracks at the base of the cliff. Give me a survival check.
Well, that's not great, but it's not bad.
I've
13.
I have a better survival. Maybe.
All right.
Yeah, but he asked.
Oh, okay. All right.
So-
Forget about it.
It's one of
Okay.
those, like, at least the way that I think it's only fair. You can't have everybody making the same check if one person doesn't do so well. So
Okay.
13.
So, quick question first. Are you heading down to the bottom of the cliffs?
No, I'm at the entrance of the cliff, and I just want to see if I see basically any recent tracks, like the caravan itself.
Wait,
Okay.
did they take any parts of the caravan with them? I thought we were supposed to like stay there
No
and guard
wagons.
the
No,
caravan.
they were just on foot.
Yeah.
Okay, so either way,
So that's the other
basically
thing.
I'm looking for.
You
I'm
just
not.
left that
I'm not
there.
trying to track how many people in what order, or whether
Yeah.
or not they're Jawas or whatever, or sand people. I just want to see, like, has there been a recent path that seems reasonably elvish?
Yes, you can see that there's the tracks leading down the path. The dust has been disturbed and rocks and stuff. So you see that a troop has certainly been through, less than a dozen, and the tracks down at the bottom conform to the feet of the elves.
Okay.
You can also make out a rough direction that they'll be going in, but you can also tell that the wind is starting to play havoc with that.
Well, if they're going down in the tunnel or down in the corridor, then clearly there aren't a lot of options.
So there's a corridor in the stone, and then that sort of opens out into the desert, and you guys are basically above that corridor, at the cliff edge.
Gotcha.
So directly ahead is just desert. No more rocks.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's just okay. I had the opposite feeling. So it's opening out into the desert, not closing into a channel.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm just gonna go forward because I was worried about being ambushed.
Looking at this situation, you've got the wind coming in, and I'm assuming it's coming toward us.
Yes.
So that means that this wind is blowing toward us, hitting this rock face, and then coming up the rock face. So I'm looking at you guys going, we need to make haste. The chances of their tracks being something that we can follow are very slim.
Well,
but that's why I say we just go.
And with
I
that,
agree with you.
I'm actually going to turn to face them, and then just take like a back jump, and catch myself with my fingers right at the cliff's edge. And I'm just going to do that, dropping down the cliff, where I'm just dropping and grabbing and dropping and grabbing. And I'm going to just do that as my way of saying, I know a check is coming. I'm doing an acrobatics.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics.
Let's hope I don't screw this up.
No disadvantage.
Can I have disadvantage? I might roll better if I did. I believe...
number.
Oh, that's not what it's on. This isn't good. Well, why don't you guys do something while I figure my numbers out? Because I don't remember if I had this training.
well, we might need to come save you or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
well, okay. It's an 8. It's not great.
It's not great.
You find that the side of the cliff is smoother than you anticipated. It seems that it's worn to a sheen by the constant blast of sand.
That makes sense.
being blown against. So you find that after the first few grips on what is nothing more than just lumps of rock rather than sheer edges, you find that you slide down the rest of the way. You bump down at the bottom. You are hurt, but not injured.
Okay.
So you take no hit points worth of damage, but you would rather not do that again.
Okay.
Wow.
Sounds
I'm
like
gonna
us
follow.
Friday night.
I'm gonna follow, except for I'm gonna aim without. I'm gonna follow, but I'm gonna say heads up, and I'm gonna try to very clumsily attempt the same thing.
There is a path.
There is a path. There is a
There
path.
is
Then I'm just taking the path.
I'm taking the path. Yeah, I'm going. And once we catch up to Eridu, I'm gonna say like, you realize how unnecessary that was, right?
Yes, I thought it was going to look nice.
Always so concerned about your aesthetic. That's why I love you, Eridu.
Okay, I am going to need now another survival check from whoever wants to do the survival check, and this will be for the next hour's worth of travel in the desert.
Well, I got a +4.
However you want to do.
And I don't know. Okay, would you say that there are any distinguishing landmarks around us, or it's just completely open desert?
It looks to be completely open desert. You don't
Wow.
see any landmarks at the
Okay.
moment.
Well, then I guess I'll just have to let this die stand by itself. Yeah. So yeah, no one has better than +4.
I have a 3.
I have
Well,
a two,
tell you
so
what,
Wait,
since
hold on.
Okrim is second in the marching order, Eigner and Okrim, I will allow Eigner to make the roll
Uh-huh.
with advantage with Okrim's help.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm helping, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I would like to give everyone inspiration for the
Inspiration.
the role playing all the way up here and everything seemed to warrant it.
Okay,
Can,
so
can I use that to make my roll from 5 minutes ago?
wait. So
Well, you didn't take damage.
is
so
that
who cares?
is that what you use it for though? You reroll.
You can exchange it to either cancel disadvantage or give you advantage.
Oh.
Oh, is that how you're doing it?
Is that not the usual way?
I have
the
no
usual
idea.
ways to grant advantage.
Okay, maybe I'm just because I was thinking it was the D6. That's why I
No,
remember.
that's your bardic inspiration.
I maybe I'm thinking of an alternative version for the GM.
Okay.
Possibly.
All right.
Like
Well,
from the GM guide.
I've run an alternate version like that myself, so yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I rolled pretty well. I got like a 19.
Nice.
Thanks to that advantage. Thanks for the help, dude. The assist, hooking it up.
Okay. For that hour, you find yourselves dipping into your water supplies quite a bit, and you manage to keep onto their track. And after that hour, you see in the distance, possibly another 2 hours, 3 hours trek. There's something there, a mound of some sort that seems to be made out of some sort of stone rather than just sand. It seems to be the only thing for miles. You're also noticing that the wind is starting to pick up. The sand is whipping up into small sand storms, little whirlwinds of sand going about the place,
Yeah.
and that's on top of just general sand in the air being blown about.
Yep.
How relatively big is the mountain? Do we think? Because it's in the distance.
Because it's in the distance, and the distance between you and it, you reckon it'll be about the size of an inn?
It's like two stories.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. I say we go for that. At minimum, it'll give us a landmark. If not, being able to see if we can find a height advantage to see if we can get better point of view.
Sure. Yeah, and we need to have something that resembles shelter for what's about to happen.
All right.
Is there any way we can push our speed and move a little faster?
Yeah, sure. I can make
Yeah.
a push. I can.
Yeah.
I've done
if you
forced
want to
march
go
before in
fast-
my life.
How much water have we used at this point? One, how much water have we used at this point? Two, what time of the day is it now?
This will be getting into mid-afternoon.
Right.
It's very hot.
Right. Yeah.
So amount of water that you will have used. I'd certainly like to say something along the lines of a dose. I'm just going to have a look and see what a
I don't know if there is a
flask.
water
water skin. Sorry.
Yeah, water scan. Let's see. It says 4 pints of liquid.
4 pints of liquid. I would say a pint for the hour.
A pint for the hour. Okay. In that case, okay. Can I make a nature check and see how long I think it would take? How much water I think it would take us, being that it's midday. To
Okay.
get there.
Give me a nature check.
Okay. Not great. 8. Oh no, I'm sorry. 11.
as you're making your deliberations to work out how much water you've got for the potential journey, you're then distracted by the skeletons that you are starting to see protruding from the sand. You see the flash of metal, you see the paleness of bone, and you see that not all of the skeletons are humanoid. You see a set of huge horns erupting from the sand.
Are they coming up, or are they being uncovered?
They are being uncovered. They're not moving, they're skeletons.
Well,
yes, I understand.
there are skeleton monsters.
Yes,
so
yes, there
You
are.
never
But
know.
yes,
Despite
you see inanimate
the-
bones.
Despite Eridu's hope to move things faster, he will take a second and just make sure none of them are wearing any sort of vestments that he might recognize. Making sure none of the elves.
Oh yes, you see that most of the garb has long since gone.
Okay.
So
okay, I
these
say
are
we make a
ancient.
beeline. We need to. We're going to use a lot of water. We're going to use a lot of water doing this.
Okay.
But if we don't,
Once we're under shelter, hopefully things will calm down and we'll be able to
we can get out of the worst of it, and hopefully we can catch up with them and their water supply.
and resupply if
Yeah.
God's will it.
Eigner, for this speediness, can you give me a survival check? Just a flat one. You still get the advantage from Okrim, but you are now receiving disadvantage from the high winds and the fast pace.
Well, shit.
So it cancels out. It's just one roll.
Can he use his inspiration and get a second advantage?
I'm afraid not. No.
I rolled a 2. And that's a 6 total.
You find yourselves lost and unable to find your way. You can hear howling winds. You can barely hear each other shouting over it. But you have just spent the last 4 miles, the last hour worth of running about in the sand, getting lost.
Okay, we've used.
Has the dust storm kicked up enough that we can't really even make out the mound anymore?
That's right. The wind has increased. Eigner, you get a sense that you could find your way back, but finding the mound, that would take some skill and some time.
I'm gonna spend a little bit of time just bitching at my teammates here and just say like, why did you even want to get us into the desert? See what's happened? A windstorm, blowing all the sand in my eyes. I'd never even wanted this in the first place.
I'm sorry, what? I can't. What?
Yeah, that's the thing is that
Just-
they can't hear me. Yeah, they can't hear me. Okay.
Where do we go? I can't.
So do we have to all
That
kind of
way?
huddle so we're like face to face and sort of talk?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yep. So you reckon with the water supplies that you've got
Yeah.
and what you've gone through, you could reasonably work out that you could spend another couple of hours looking around.
Yeah.
But after that, probably a good idea to turn back.
For sure. Well, can I spend my inspiration on this like last ditch effort to get us to the mound?
I
Because
will
it's the
allow
same thing.
you-
I'm assisting, and so you're rolling straight rolls because we're at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, usually speaking, advantage and disadvantage, the moment you have one cancel out the other, no further amount of advantage or disadvantage further knocks
okay.
it. However, what I will allow you to do in this instance is make your flat roll, and if you fail it, I will allow you to spend your inspiration to re-roll. So it won't be quite like advantage. You'll need to make the second roll,
Yeah.
even if it's worse.
For sure.
Right.
All right. Cool. So even if my teammates can or cannot hear me, my party members, whatever, I'm gonna say like, "All right, I'm gonna get us there. I studied that map. God damn it, and I'm gonna get us there." And then I will go and do my thing. All right. So that is a 17. on the survival.
Nice.
17, much better.
Whichever gods you're damning, they didn't curse you.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that through getting lost, finding your way back again, and getting here, you have all exhausted a single whole water skin down
Yeah.
a full 4 pints. You find yourself at this mound, almost by accident, as far as Okrim and Eridu might be concerned.
Okay.
But Eigner, you picked up on the trail within the first 10 minutes of setting off again,
Mm-hmm.
and you knew that you'd find it, but it's impossible to see until you put your hands on it, and then
Wow.
it became evident. But feeling around, you also find a crack in this. The mound appears to be constructed but worn. So this was a larger structure, but has just been eroded over time. You'll also notice that the crack inside, there's a string of fibers flapping in the wind that you can tell is from Vilren's cloak. So the elves definitely went in here.
Okay.
Okay.
Sally forth.
How do we get this thing open?
The
It's a
crack
crack,
appears
right?
to be the only entrance.
It's wide enough
for us to fit through.
It's wide enough for you to fit through, yes.
Oh, okay,
you
cool.
would need to go flat, not like prone, but you would need to turn it aside and go
Uh-huh.
in. This is about 3 feet wide.
All right, tight fit.
Well, I'll
Alright.
go first.
Yeah, let's get in there.
Since I don't need any light source, I'll go first.
Okay, so Eridu's going first. Who's second?
I'll go second.
Don't
and
both
then,
of you guys have dark vision or something?
Yeah, I have dark vision, but I'm also going to cast light on Iger's sword again.
Sweet.
I'll
Thank
give you guys, I'll go in and I'll give you the all clear.
Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to do it on his sword because his sword is sheathed. So, do you have anything on you that is like outside your body, Eigner? Like an amulet or a shark's tooth or something?
How about
His
just
glasses. Cast
No.
it on his glasses.
no? I've got like a gauntlet. You know, not like a full on gauntlet, but it's like kind of a chain kind of sleeve with this this little metal backing on this. So if someone
Okay.
pissed me off, I could like bitch slap them, and then it would like really.
So I'm
It
going to
would
cast
really
light
hurt.
on the amulet.
So I could be like unity.
I'm going to cast light on that thing then, so that way
Uh-huh.
you have light. You can see.
I
We
can
can see too,
go.
but you
I think
can
I can glowing.
So what I'm
bitch
hearing
slap.
is that if somebody really angers Eigner, he's going to give them a light bitch slap.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Eridu, you squeeze through the crack. What armor are you wearing, Eridu?
I'm a monk, so none.
Ooh,
None. So
he's-
no armor.
it's like he's wearing
Okrim's
nothing at
wearing
all.
chain.
No, leather.
I'm wearing a
Leather.
chain.
Ah, that was it.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, no,
Fantastic.
God, no.
So, Eridu, you squeeze through and have a look around, your elven eyes quickly adjusting to the darkness, and you see that squeezing through this crack has led you to little more than just another organically made cave. You do see that there's another crack that's leading from this that heads down slightly, and you can see a shaft of light coming from it.
I will give a quick all clear or preconceived. You know what? I'm just gonna shoot like a little or do like a little jingle with my spell at the base of the crack to say that it's all clear.
Wait, what's
Oh, with prestidigitation.
Yeah, I took that as my elven thing.
Right, yeah.
Interesting.
So then I'm gonna go through the other crack while they go through this one.
Yeah.
Okay. You emerge into what seems to be a sandy version of that channel that you saw at the Grey Cliffs. So while there was a rocky path below, you are looking at a winding staircase leading down to a path between two sandy cliffs. Sandy cliffs have lots of cave entrances to them, lots of holes. You can see that there's some ancient writing written above and beside each doorway, carved into a smoothed out bit of rock. But
Okay.
everything else seems to be fluidly carved out by the wind and sand.
I know Sylvan and Celestial. Is it either of those or Elven?
you see that a lot of the writing is in Sylvan.
Okay. What does it say?
They appear to be names. Names of ancient kings, princes. You notice the titles as well written beside them.
Okay. Um, d is this an opportunity for me to roll a history check, or have I pretty much deciphered all I can learn?
You can roll me a history check.
That would be an 11.
You know that there were several places like this that match this general description from several books that you've read. Several ancient civilizations would bury all of their nobles in one particular place, separate from the rest of the rabble. This is sort of a valley of kings.
Okay. Interesting. I'll do the jingle again at the base of this crack as well. But like it takes a while. I'm there like taking all this in and like researching all this and just kind of like basking in this historical like.
You can see that the wind is howling above you, and that this seems to be recessed into the ground enough that the wind isn't affecting it, but it's howling above. You're still finding it hard to hear, but seeing is fine.
Okay.
But there is starting to be a shadow cast by the fact that the sun is starting to set.
Well, it probably will take a point to where someone will have to like kind of call for me before I realize, oh, they're still out there waiting, and then I'll just let them know it's all clear.
Oh, I didn't really wait for you. I don't
Okay,
know about Eigner. I was
through.
just like, yeah, I just kind of continued. I mean, at a somewhat of a safe distance, so that way, if you got like attacked, then I wouldn't like, I could, whatchamacallit? Because we never discussed it before we left. Before you went in there, you just went in there. So I was like, okay, I'll give him like a 30-second head start, and then I just started going down.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So I guess we'll meet up in this.
So you kept on doing noises, and I'm like, well.
So you're in this valley. It goes ahead for a few hundred feet. It probably takes you about 5 minutes to casually walk from one side to the other. But you can see that at the far end, there's a much more ornate-looking cave. The surrounding arch of it having a lot more writing in, which is a bit small for you to read at this distance. But it certainly looks different to the rest. But left and right, it's set high up and low down. Lots of these cave entrances that appear to be tombs.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head in that direction, muttering to myself all the historical knowledge that I have of this particular place.
All right.
I'll be walking alongside Eridu, just asking him like, "What exactly is this place? Where are we?" And I guess you'll
I'll
lay it
turn
on
to
me.
Eigner with this light in my eyes, and an excitement he hasn't really seen Eridu ever really express. This is a tomb of the kings.
Oh,
This is like, we are in historical place here. There are so much of my people. I've never been. I wonder how connected to the Feywild this could be. This could be like a bastion of the emotions of my. And I just kind of like running off on this tangent.
Eigner becomes quite transfixed in the outburst of emotion from Eridu, and just really doesn't quite know how to respond, and just listens and listens as he blathers on.
Right.
So I don't know what check that needs to make. I want to create like a bassy strums, and seeing if I can hear like what kind of echoes I hear.
Oh,
Echolocating.
Yeah, it
Like
will
kind
be.
of a very rudimentary echo. I'm not like trying to figure out what is specifically, but I just want to hear if I can hear any echoes that are unusual that I wouldn't see like otherwise. Like so, like a big open hole, but not like a little like I wouldn't hear a little crack.
Give me a wisdom perception with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you're competing against an unusual thing and also high wind volume.
8.
You strum and you listen, and you hear it echo throughout the chasm that you're in, and you strum again, and you hear, as the wind lulls for a moment, you hear the sound dampen as it enters a couple of caves that you're wandering past, as if hitting a crowd. You strum one more time, and you hear two more strums that you didn't make. As you hear those strums, two arrows land at your feet, kicking the sand up. You notice that these are arrows that have been fired from bows nearby.
Oh dear. Those kind of
Fortunately,
strums.
They missed. So now aware. So now we go into combat. We are now going to take advantage of this to quickly explain to the audience that we are using, because I don't believe we described this on camera.
No.
That we are going to be experimenting with the speed factor initiative in the Dungeon Master's Guide, page 270 and 271. So what's going to happen is each person is going to tell me what specific action they're going to want to take, and then we roll for initiative. Initiative is modified based on the action that they want to take. Swinging with a heavy melee weapon, for instance, gives you a -2 to your initiative. But with a light or finesse weapon, gives you a +2. And we will then operate in initiative order. The monsters also doing the same thing. Movement is entirely free, however. So your 30 feet movement or 25 feet movement, whatever you happen to have, you don't need to lock that in. You can move wherever you want during your turn. You don't need to describe that beforehand. But your action is locked in. If you choose not to take it, it's lost.
You missed the 40 feet movement that I have, but yeah.
Or the 40 feet movement of jammy monks.
Just trying to,
Maybe wood elf monks, right?
It would be 45 if I was a wood elf. I'm a high elf.
Okay.
Do we, looking up where those arrows came from, what do we see?
What do we see? What do we see?
Give me perception checks, please.
I have the highest perception. Should I just do it?
You should probably just do it.
Well, I mean, I would
Each
assume because
person.
all individually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay, because I'm rolling that crap and I got an 11.
Oh my gosh. I got an 8.
No, I got 11. Yeah.
What I'm looking for specifically is, like, if I can gauge where the arrows came from.
Yeah. So,
Not,
hold on.
like-
Eridu got an 11. Okrim got an 8. What did you get, Agner?
I got
No,
an
I
8.
got a 13.
Oh, you got a 13.
I was 8.
You were 8. Right. Eridu and Okrim, you both see that there are 6 goblin shapes that you can see. 2 of them very high up, the other 2 at sort of mid-level, and 1 on either side of you at ground level. Eigner,
Yeah.
you can see the 2 at ground level, and you see that one of them is holding a bow aimed at Okrim, and that he has no arrow in hand, so he's likely just fired.
Okay.
How far away are they?
The channel itself was only 20 feet across, so the ones at ground level are 20 feet away from you. And then we're dealing with hypotenuses at that point, so roughly 20 to 25 feet distance.
Well, and I can't fly, so there's that.
Why can't you fly, dude? You're messing up right now.
Ben, terrible elf. Can't even fly.
Dude,
Right?
it's the worst.
Okay, so
I guess
am
we'll
going
destroy
to,
these guys.
for my action. For my action, I'm going to cast what is the name of that? Vicious Mockery at one of the at the goblin that threw it, that I feel like it was the closest to me.
Okay,
Like they shot the arrow that's closest to me.
and that's a cantrip, isn't it?
Yeah, it is in fact a cantrip.
All right, Agner, what's your planned action?
My planned action is to charge full force to the goblin that I can see that just shot the arrow at him.
All right. What's your weapon that you'll be using?
My longsword.
Okay.
Can
Are
you
you
reach
using
that with?
Can I?
Because they're up high, right?
There's one on ground
there
level.
There are 2 on ground level, one
Yeah.
of which
Oh,
Agner
okay.
can see. So, are you using it two-handed or one-handed?
One-handed. I have my shield with the other hand.
Brilliant. And Eridu.
I suppose that I will be charging towards the other goblin, and using my key point to make 3 unarmed strikes against him.
Oh damn!
Nice.
But yeah, because it's 1 main attack and then 2 hand attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, buying
Yeah.
2 as a
Yeah,
bonus-
as your
bonus
bonus action. Yeah.
Everyone roll for initiative. Let's see where we land on this.
I still have a -1, so I got an 8.
I no longer have a -1 because of Jack of all trades, but I have a 9.
So do we have any specific negatives or bonuses right now aside from our normal stuff?
I'm making a note of them as well, but Eridu, you are the only one that gets a plus. You get +2. Everyone else
Okay.
doesn't get a negative or...
So
bonus.
I've got my normal 13, so I have a 15.
Nice. So, Eridu, you are going first. So you're going to the one that Eigner doesn't look like he's making a start towards.
Right, which I believe, I don't know if he had an empty bow as well, but
You can see him, and he doesn't have an empty bow. His bow is locked and loaded, and is pointing at you.
that's what I was hoping for. Okay.
Shit.
So for my first shot is an 18, my second shot is a 16, and my last shot is a 21.
All 3 of those hit.
Yes, they do. At least they better.
Everybody was kung fu
So first shot 7 damage, second shot 5 damage, last shot 4 damage.
Give me an acrobatics skill check, please. Dexterity
I will do
based.
that. Now, can I explain this attack as soon as I've finished and not have to be just, doing punches? Acrobatics is a 19.
I am also going to invoke the optional rule of, I forget what it's called, but where you do so much damage that it goes through one and into another. With that 19 acrobatics, I'll allow you to use the momentum of attacking the first one to leap up the 7 feet.
Can I
Yeah, second.
Oh, cool. So can I like explain how this works?
Yes, you have just killed 2 goblins, one of which was about 10 feet above the other one, so go ahead and explain how you've done this.
Okay, so first off, it's not my intention to kill them. That's why I'm going with unarmed strikes.
You can knock them out instead, but you have defeated.
So I do a running leap kick forward and just collide into the face of the first goblin with that, and use the momentum of his body to push up, grab that rail, and pull myself up, and then just do a real quick jab punch to the other goblin. As he drops, I ready myself to turn to the next goblin that I see, which is probably the one on the ledge above me, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's where I'm at.
Alright, so that was Eridu. Next we have Okrim.
Okay, so mine is Vicious Mockery. So what I'm doing for Vicious Mockery is I'm going to, not for damage, pick up the arrow and just throw it at him, almost sideways.
Okay.
To basically say, whatever. My DC is 14.
DC's 14.
Wisdom.
How wise are those goblins?
That
very
goblin succumbs to your vicious mockery.
Okay, so he takes D4. Let me just make sure I don't get a bonus. Okay, no. So 1. He takes 1 damage, but Hal has disadvantage on his next attack.
Fantastic. The arrow seems to shake him somewhat, almost as much as your words do.
It's not even I'm not even saying anything. I just grab it. I'm just giving him a look like idiot, and I just throw it kind of generally at him.
Okay. So 6. And next we have Eigner.
All right. Well, don't mind if I do. So I'm using my full 30-foot movement to just get there to the other guy
Yep.
And
It'll take about 10 to 15 feet to get to him.
all right, I get to him and I slash, slishy slash for a 22 to AC,
That hits.
dealing 6 damage.
Nice. Charging up, you crash against this goblin. He brings up this crude scimitar to deflect your blow, but the force of your blow against his defense wrecks his arms. You can see
Wow.
he drops his blade. He's looking up at you, and he's just in shock.
Yep.
He's not defeated, but he is close to it. What he does do now, however, is he decides to kick at the sand as some sort of distraction, grabs the sword again, and tries to swipe at your shins.
Rat bastard.
You very quickly dodge backwards, however, and
Sweet.
continue clashing blades with this goblin, while his compatriots fire at
Uh-oh.
who they presume is the weakest armored of the lot, which would seem to be Eridu. While that's not literally the case, it is the case that Eridu does find 2 arrows launching at him.
I don't think I have deflect missiles yet.
I don't
No,
believe you
yeah,
do, no.
No.
Oh man,
That's-
all right.
So, it's D6 plus 2. 2 of them hit. One of them was a critical, which I was quite pleased with.
Oh,
Give myself a
Was
little
one of those that hit?
spaghetti-o.
Was that one that got a crit? Was that the disadvantaged one?
Oh,
It was.
Oh no!
Rolled a 16, so it still hits, but no critical.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. That was
All right.
okay.
May not die. With my 13 hit points.
Did you not level?
No, I think I just rolled poorly. I don't know. It does the automatic thing, so.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Maybe it just takes the average. I think it's the default is that it does the fixed HP,
Oh.
but
If
you
you
add
did
your
fix HP,
Constitution
then yeah,
modifier.
it does the
I probably would have taken the average anyway.
Okay.
No,
12 damage.
12 damage, okay. That's a good hit.
Yeah.
I'll manage
What's
my
this-
hit points later, though. I have 1 health left.
Okay.
Yes. Right. That is the end of the first round of combat. Now we enter that discussion again. So quickly, what is everyone's planned actions for the following round?
I'm gonna go over to Eigner, or not Eigner, Eridu, and 2 names.
I'm
And,
outside of your physical range. I'm actually like a level up.
Yeah. You could scramble up the rocks. There doesn't seem to be a clear path to where he is. You can
Okay.
climb up using athletics.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah. You could get there and tend to him. You could climb up there and have an action.
Right.
Because
That's
only...
I'm gonna try to climb up
feet.
there, and then if I can reach up there, I'm gonna use Cure Wounds on him.
Cool. Yeah, because he's just up there, so it'll be 10 feet for you to get to the wall, 20 feet worth of movement to climb the 10 feet up because it's difficult terrain, and then
Right.
that's fine. Do just give me an athletics check before we do it. I know we're not in initiative yet. Just
Yeah.
14.
14.
So
That'll be enough to do it.
possible. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's your planned action, is to go up and use Cure Wounds. That's a first level spell, yeah?
Correct.
Okay. Eigner, what's your planned action?
What's the goblin report around me? What's the
The
situation?
goblin immediately in front of you.
Oh yeah, I'm still
is
fighting him.
shaken, terrified, but he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that there are more goblins around, but you don't know where they are.
Oh, okay. What kind would you allow me like a bonus action as a like a perception check or something, or would that be like a full action to like scan my surroundings and see what's going on?
I'll allow you to make a bonus action, perception to count enemies and whatnot.
Okay, so my intention is to just try and finish off the one in front of me, and then scan around, see if I can see any, and then if there's going to be one in range for my movement, then I'm going to plan on using my action surge to get a dash movement over there.
Okay.
That's my plan.
Roll me the perception just now.
Okay. Oh my god, it's definitely a 7. Oh wait, actually I'm going to use my inspiration. I didn't use my inspiration.
Okay. You didn't? No.
I just want to use it. I'm going to use one more. Okay, sweet. I got a 22 instead, and my inspiration is gone. I'm so inspired to find more goblins.
All right. So we'll deal with that when your initiative comes around, because the action surge is a whole other action thing, which is not, as far as I can see, covered by speed factor. So you just wanted to slash with a weapon. I've factored that in already, and then other stuff after. That's fine.
Yeah.
Eridu.
All right. So if I can see that Okrim's making a movement toward me, I'll hold my action until after he goes. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna go before him. I don't really want to move and like make it move pointless. How far?
Could you hold your turn in the Speed Force? Can you hold your turn instead of your action?
I would say that you could hold your action. I experimented with this a couple of nights ago, and I don't see a problem with holding your action so long as you plan to hold it beforehand.
For my assumption in this, because our the only thing we're really basing our initiative off of is what we're doing for our action. So
Yes.
I'm just declaring my action is do this, but so I'm assuming turn and action are the same in this moment, though. In the way that I'm like,
turn and action are different.
So I guess what I'm saying is I'm going to hold my turn until after Okrim goes, and then I'm going to, if I can, I don't know how high up the guy above me is, but I'm going to jump up and try to get that climb up, and then if I get up to him, then I'm going to make an unarmed strike against him.
Going for it.
Okay. You reckon it's about half again the distance, so it'll take your full movement to get up there.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So that's what I'll do.
All right, so you're planning on attacking again with that, but
Climb and just going for a cock punch.
Right. Everyone, roll for initiative again. You get to roll afresh. Why? I'm changing d20s, I swear.
You don't have to change it today.
I got 9.
Hey, it's better than last time.
Yeah.
15. I didn't add any of your bonuses, but I have a 15 right now.
Okay, so that'll be up to 17.
Yeah.
16.
16, nice. So I'm only holding my turn for a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, you're not holding your turn.
I'm not.
Yeah, because at most, I'm casting a first level spell, which is a -1, so we're at 15 and 15.
I got
Eridu gets a +2 for light weapons.
Oh, right, yeah, that's true.
Yes. So it's 17 and 15. So you're holding it, but for like a half second.
Yeah.
So as a matter of fact, we will go Okrim first.
Okay, so I
Something
do just that.
So you've already made your athletics check, so you quickly haul yourself up the wall. You get to Eridu.
Okay, and you recover 10 points. I jump up there, kind of skitter because I'm not the most agile of people. Kind of whatever, and then I just kind of like almost like I jump up and I like kind of half get up there and heal you, and then finish the roll up there. So and I just kind of touch your leg or whatever and just kind of heal you for 10.
I quickly nod and say, thank you, Okrim. And then I'm assuming it's my turn now.
Yes. So you're wanting to clamber up there.
Yep.
I should have asked at the time, really. Give me an athletics to climb up. I allowed acrobatics because it was part of a successful attack sort of thing, and it was impressive looking. But
that's no good. This is going to be a 2.
Ooh, damn.
I didn't know it was so hot. Yeah.
You managed to get halfway up the wall.
Inspiration.
Inspiration.
Use it.
Inspire this. This is a 3.
Oh my god.
You get partway
You
up the wall,
suck.
and one of your handholds breaks away, a weakened bit of rock, stopping you in your tracks. You are now halfway up the wall. You can choose to drop down safely if you so desire, or you can stay on halfway up and then continue on your next turn.
I'll stay halfway up and continue on my next turn.
Okay. And still before the goblins, Eigner.
That's unbelievable. Okay. That's unbelievable. Okay, so I am gonna attack this fool, right? That's what I said I was gonna do.
Yep.
I wanna attack this fool. Bam! Oh, critical hit, yo.
Nice.
Critical hit. Okay, so hold on, like, I'm still confused on like what critical hits are in this edition.
Double
so
dice
you're-
damage.
You just
Yes.
roll. Okay, so I.
Just the dice damage, not the whole damage.
Okay, so I just roll my d8 twice instead of once,
Yeah, you
and
can
then
either
I add
roll
my
2d8
thing.
or roll 1d8 and double it.
I'd rather
Wait,
the 2d8.
Oh,
You'd
okay.
You'd prefer the
Roll
2d8.
2d8, add your strength
Yeah,
modifier.
yeah, just my regular whatever
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
adding. Okay, so in that case, that'll be 10 plus another 8. Roll, what's going on? Oh, it's a 8! 18 damage? That's insane.
Dude, that is
Wow.
amazing damage. You summarily defeat him. Are you looking to end his life?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
no other way to handle that. Like,
Yeah.
you roll an 18 with that much. Yeah, okay, you roll that much damage. Like, it's like a fatal thing.
Yeah.
Right.
The goblins then let out a briark
Wait,
battle cry.
hold on. Are they doing their turn? Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah, yeah. they're
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, I was gonna try and do a little more because I can action surge.
Oh, your action surge. Yes,
I
I
can
apologize.
action
Yes,
surge,
you,
dude.
you killed that one with the first action.
Yeah,
Apologies today.
it's all good.
You skip backwards, have a quick scout around, and you
Mhm.
see that not only are there 3 goblins in this fight, the other 3 are high up with bows, but you notice that there's one in another tomb further down this corridor that's peering out. He seems to have a staff that's covered in scraps of metal, feathers, jewels. It seems to be a very ornate-looking spear.
Mm.
Staring with a hood up, looking rather shifty.
How
He just
far?
seems to be watching the whole thing.
How far away is he?
He's about 100 feet.
100 feet.
Hmm.
Hmm. What's the range on hand axe again?
Hand
think
axe, I believe, is 60 feet
60
maximum
feet?
range.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
maximum range, but that's a disadvantage.
Yes, 20 feet if you want to just get a straight attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, you know what? At this point, I'm not going to do my action surge. It would be like
Okay.
an inefficient kind of thing at right now.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
See, the goblins
goblin-
are like going freaking out. Yeah. Arrgh, right.
yes, one right at the top that was frightened from the vicious mockery that Okrim had given him. I presume now is free.
No,
of
it's
that.
just one turn.
Just one
Yeah,
turn.
it's just one turn.
Taking vengeance. Tries to fire at Okrim. Somehow fails. An arrow flies by and, in fact, shunks into the wall immediately beneath Eridu. The other goblin immediately below, firing at Eridu. Again, that arrow is landing right next to it. The goblin directly above the two of you, Okrim and Eridu, you see has lowered his bow down towards Eigner
Hmm.
and hits.
Nuh-uh. I mean, sure, whatever you want to do.
Rolled a
But...
19. I think I get a +4 or something.
Oh,
Um,
all right, all right.
So that is 5 damage.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Amateur. Okay, so that is the goblins have taken their turn. You have taken out 3 of their number. As
Mhm.
far as most of you are concerned, there are 3 left. that is the end of that round. So what are people's planned actions at this point? Eridu, you are halfway up a wall. I assume you plan to climb up and clobber the one that's above you?
Actually, I kind of want to take one of the arrows that's in the wall next to me in one hand, using it like a dart, throw it at the goblin that's like, opposite from the one I punched earlier.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be about 20 feet range. I'd allow that for an improvised weapon.
Okay. And I probably need to do something about the fact that I'm like clinging onto this wall.
You should just.
I'll allow you to stay clinging on. Okay. Make your attack roll. You just won't get proficiency with this.
Okay. That'll do.
But other than that, just treat it like a dart.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
So that is going to be a. No, it falls under none of those, so you get +0 to your initiative. Okrim, what is your planned action?
Okay, so I'm on the opposite side of the 3 that are remaining.
There's 1 directly above you, 2 opposite.
And how far away are they from me?
The one directly above you is a 15 feet wall climb.
Mm-hmm.
The one opposite is just 20 feet directly opposite. But of course, there's a 7-foot drop, and then again, and the one above that is similar, 15 feet above that. So you're looking at 20, 22, and 15 feet.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab the arrow out of the wall, and I'm gonna this time again. I'm not gonna actually hit because this is not my specialty, but it's gonna be a vicious mockery. But at a time, I'm just gonna turn around and be like, "You didn't learn your lesson the first time," and just fling it hard. Again, not proficient with throwing an arrow, so this is not gonna be a. This is not going to be a dead on sale to hit him with the arrow, but this is going to definitely be almost like an intimidation,
Yeah. All right, Eigner, what is your planned action?
I think what I want to try and do, if I still have a visual on that one with the ornate spear, what I want to do is I want to move my 30 feet toward him, and then do some kind of intimidation check, whether or not that requires an action. Maybe I just brandish my weapons and say get over here or something.
I would allow you to make an intimidation skill check to impose the fear condition for 1 round.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm actually just trying to get him to come out, and I know with the frightened condition they can't willingly move.
That's true. All right. Same with intimidation then, but rather than imposing the frightened condition, you're just wanting to antagonize him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So that's your plan for that. That's fine. Right, everyone roll for initiative. Let's see how we do.
Cool.
Mine is an 18.
Nice.
13.
Mine is an 8.
Not doing so well with these, Eigner.
Oh no! But somehow I'm before the goblins all the time. I don't know. Somehow it doesn't matter.
Eridu is first.
All right, improvised dart throwing without my proficiency.
Yes.
That's not gonna go so well. I got an 8.
Unfortunately, does not hit at all, and you've used up your inspiration, if memory serves.
Yes. It wasn't such an important attack. I'm not too worried about it.
You can, because you still got your movement, you can make another athletics check to see if you can get the rest of the way up the wall if you wanted.
Yes, I'll give that a shot. Athletics is not my strong suit.
I believe.
That is a 7.
As a 7, you can make a further 5 feet progress if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. It's all the effort of coming down for the arrow, throwing it like a dart, and climbing it. It's totally not your fault. It's the terrain,
We do not make excuses for our failures.
Okrim. So you were going to similarly... So, in fact, you and Eridu reach for arrows at the same time and just instinctively go for different arrows and both throw them at the same time.
Right.
Eridu's falling short and clattering on the ground in front of Eigner, just as he's about to dash off. But Okrim, make your vicious mockery. No, I make a save. I got an 18, which is a 17 modified. He saves. So you throw the arrow.
Would I be able to use my inspiration to impose disadvantage at this point, or would I have to?
I don't think strictly you can, because that's a unique thing that bards can do.
Oh yeah, that's a cutting word. Yeah, that's a cutting word thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's how it goes.
You throw the arrow, it scatters in front of this goblin, but because you've tried it with him before, he in fact just picks up that one and the other one that you threw before, and you can see him trying to get them both on the bow at the same time, but he can't bring back as far. And now it is the goblins before
No! The cycle is broken.
So that one with the 2 arrows in his bow, he loosens both of them, and they clatter to the floor before him. But he quickly pulls out one, draws it back, and looses it at Okrim. 4 fires. The other one lower down fires at Eridu, hitting for 7 damage.
Okay.
And the last one on the top, firing at Eigner and missing. So again, another volley of arrows firing from the goblins. You can also hear a celebratory shout from them start to get picked up almost by the wind or the chamber that you're in.
Yeah, it was kind of a big round for them.
Do I need to make a concentration check to stay holding on, or is it?
No, because of the amount of handholds and things.
Okay.
You grit your teeth and bear it. Next we have Eigner.
All right, so I move 30 feet closer to that punk ass dude, and I try and make a check. Would you allow me to perhaps use strength instead of charisma? Because I'm trying to do a physical display of force, like I'm a worthy opponent for you or something corny. Like I don't know how goblin.
I will allow that.
psychology
Yes.
works.
So strength-based intimidation.
Strength-based intimidation. So that's going to be a total of +5. Added to that 7, that's a 12.
Okay. Was it a flex or a scraping the blade across the floor?
Yeah.
Or something?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I like that image where I like draw a line in the sand and I dare him to come cross it. You know, like I do something like that. But you know, like I also yell at him to make sure like I get his attention. You know, he might be watching some other part of the battle.
You see a dry smile come across his face, and you see these brown and yellow teeth, and a glint in his eye as he swishes his cloak and disappears into the tomb. It appears he ignored your challenge.
Oh, punk ass, dude.
What is everyone's planned action for the next turn?
He's a punk.
Just before I do so, Eigner, I will allow you to take your action surge if you so desire. There isn't anyone close to you, but you are within range of throwing a hand axe.
At the guy who's trying to run away?
No, not the guy that's trying to run away.
No, really? Come on, man.
You're 70 feet away from them. From him.
Damn. I'm within range to like not get disadvantage.
You know what?
from my
Because it's
attacks.
only 10 feet difference, I will allow you to try and throw a hand axe if you really want to. But
Yeah?
remember, it'll be a disadvantage at that
A
range.
disadvantage roll? Dude, I feel lucky, punk.
Do it.
So I'll use my action surge. I wish I had saved my inspiration to this moment, honestly. You can't even remember what I used it on. But
I can't remember
will,
either now, actually.
yeah, so this is going to be disadvantage. I got a 6 plus a 5, 11.
Unfortunately, the swish of his cloak confuses the throw, and while it hits his cloak, does not hit him.
Well,
You see the axe clatter to the ground.
hopefully that pissed him off a little bit.
planned actions for the next round.
So I think I'm going to finish climbing this wall and try to take out the guy above me
All right.
with unarmed strike, just one.
Yep. Okrim?
He missed me again, right? On the last one? Or no, he didn't even shoot at me. He shot at Eigner, right?
One of them shot at you, one of them shot at Eridu, one shot at Eigner.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm just I'm gonna do actually, you know what? No. No, actually I am. I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
Which is a first level spell.
All right.
So that's
who you
within.
wanted
Hold
to
on, let
aim
me make sure. Yeah, 60 feet.
Yeah.
The one that keeps on attacking me. I'm getting sick and tired of them.
Okay. Right, and Eigner, your plan.
I will move closer to my buddies. I think they're still kind of together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eridu's like halfway up the wall away from Okrim,
Yeah.
but they're in the same vicinity.
So yeah, I'll get as close as I can with my 30-foot movement toward their position, but I'm still going to stay on the ground floor, and then I will hurl another hand axe at the nearest goblin if I have the range for it. And I think hand axes are light weapons. Does that give me a bonus at all?
It does. Gives you a +2 to your initiative. So everyone roll for initiative again.
All right.
Oh, that was nearly a 20.
Oh, dude, I actually rolled well.
Nice.
I get a 17 before that +2 bonus, dude.
Nice. You get a 19.
Wow.
This is the time I'm going to roll that crap.
Oh yeah, Eigner's taking charge.
Yep. I rolled a 3, so that's 6 plus a 2 is 8.
I have no bonuses, so I just.
Yeah, you in fact get a -1 for the first level spell, so that's a net 2. So, the goblins just go before Okrim. So we start, in fact, with Eigner
Oh, dude.
first.
All right, this speed factor thing is kind of cool. I like how it just switches up and it's like, oh, it's me this time. It's me.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, so
So you hurl a hand axe. You are definitely within range to not get disadvantage on this.
Okay.
So there's one. I've forgotten. Sorry, which one you said you were aiming for. There's one directly above Eridu, and that's the last one on their side.
Mhm.
And there's 2 more on the side that you'd attacked the ground floor one. So there's the first one and second floor.
They're on the
that side.
they're on the opposite side as the other one. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna try and just get the attention and ire of the 2 on the other side. So I'm gonna aim at one.
So
of
which
them.
one, the top one or the middle one?
Oh, the middle one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So that's what you are going to do. Roll
Drop.
for your attack.
drop my die. I roll my other die.
That's how rolling works. Yes.
Yeah. Rolls on the floor don't count. They don't count. I'm very strict about that because I saw exactly what was down there. All right, so that's a 17 to AC,
That definitely hits.
and then that's 8 damage.
Nice. That is 1 dead goblin.
Sweet. Just like right in the head, you know. Now, do you want to roll a percentile, like 50% chance he falls forward off, or like 50% chance he falls back? Because I'm actually concerned about getting my hand axe back. I only have so many, so just make it like 50% thing. I'm cool with that. Like flip a coin.
Well, you can always climb after the fact, like
Well,
because it's
yeah,
not like
but
you're flying off a cliff.
I'm also lazy.
He teeters backwards and then falls forwards,
Yeah.
tumbling over the edge.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And in fact, he lands directly in front of you, allowing you to retrieve your hand axe almost in one fluid motion. As you lower your hand from throwing it, you can pick it up again.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Next
It's
is
almost like magic.
Eridu. So give me one final athletics to get to the top.
All right. Let's hope this is the athletic I can roll. Yes, that's a 17.
Fantastic. You get up there, and that only took 10 feet of your movement, and so you still have 30 feet of your movement left.
Okay, so I kind of pop up and just kind of do this, like, as I jump up onto the platform, I sort of do this low uppercut, just right for his groin. And that is a 21 to hit for 5 damage.
Oof.
Good old 5 damage cockle punch. Boom.
Dude, he's still standing after that first punch.
Yes, but I can't do my thing and make more, so.
Ah,
Although I could, as a bonus action, make a secondary attack if that's the thing you allow me to do.
Do it.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you got your bonus action still.
Yeah. That's normal. Just the key point gives you the second or the third attack.
So that's gonna hit. That's a 18 to hit.
Ooh. Another
With
groin
another
punch.
1 point of damage.
Just give it to him. Just let him just like tinkle it, like bing.
Wait, 1 point. What? Don't you get your?
You don't get the bonus to damage on a offhand attack.
You don't get to add your like modifier.
Yeah, I thought you still did. I think it's you don't get the proficiency bonus from the attack roll.
Well,
No,
it's the damage.
Ace is correct about the damage. It's what the two-weapon fighting thing gives you.
Exactly.
Is
The only reason I get it with my unarmed strike, my fury of blows, is because they count as unarmed strikes. They don't. They count as like basic attacks.
It's the main attack 3 times rather than one and then the bonus action one. Essentially, is what the flurry of blows.
So,
Yeah.
I'm still confused, but it's all
Yeah.
good.
it is a little confusing with the monk, just with the way flurry of blows is worded. But
Yeah.
Okay. Next are the goblins, alas, and then it'll be Okrim. So we still have a goblin standing. We have one goblin standing because Eridu just knocked that goblin out. Asa just sat in his room rolling dice.
This is true, I
Eridu is
did.
the one that did all the work. But yes,
no
so-
effort on my part.
the one that has been firing at Okrim all this time, the one that Okrim has thrown 2 arrows at and called vicious names hitherto unheard of under this sun. This one draws his bow back, takes aim at Okrim's heart. And the arrow gets caught in the wind, spins around, and scatters across the floor at Okrim's feet. And you can tell now that the goblin looks scared, because not only is he the last one standing, you can see that he is groping at an empty quiver. Okrim, your action.
So I did obviously dissonant whispers.
Yep.
Yes. So that is a DC 14.
What happens in the unlikely event that he fails?
It's half damage. Oh no, full damage. It's full damage, and he runs away, assuming he survives.
Roll for your damage.
Okay, and so as I'm, I
You're
just
like
pick up and I just go, Dio, just please do me a favor and die. The more you live, the better I get.
so it's so he just like dies from psychological torture from like listening to you.
Yeah.
Like this is really it's weird to justify damage in D&D sometimes.
Oh, well, I'm casting a spell in all fairness. Okay,
Yeah.
6. Not great, but
6 damage? Your cutting words earlier seem to have weakened his resolve to the point where when your singing begins to echo off the walls, he is looking about, paranoid, as if the voices are coming from all around. And then he grabs his head as the song seems to be coming from inside of him. And he dashes in a turnabout motion towards the nearest wall and bashes his own brains out to stop the dissonant whispers,
Wow.
slumping to the ground and slowly sliding off and falling from the great height, splatting on the floor below.
Oh my goodness, dude. Who would have thunk Dissonant Whispers was the clutch spell? I would not have predicted it. I would no.
That was the last action of the round, and that is the end of combat.
Wow.
So, you are now in a quietening corridor, the clang of metal and shouts of combat echoing, but fading into a cadence. The strange goblin that you saw before, Eigner, with the cloak and the spear that no one else managed to spot, unfortunately, disappeared into one of the tombs closer towards the large cave entrance that lies before you at the end of this long corridor.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what further dangers lie ahead. You don't know what the ultimate fate of that elven party was. They only had an hour or so's head start on you from what you can tell. They had barely half an hour on you before you headed off from the city, and then you got lost for an hour in the desert. But you found your way. They're not too far ahead, and the eerie silence reassures you that they're at least not currently in any real danger. Alas, this is where we shall end this week's session, and we shall pick up next time.
Wow.
Deeper into the tomb, which, just before we finish, Eridu gets closer to the writing around the edge of the cave mouth and reads, "Tomb of Zarkon. Danger. Do not enter."
Zarkon is dangerous.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out to anybody just joining us now, we will be breaking this session down into probably 2 videos and putting them up on YouTube. So we have officially recorded content that'll be up there. So if you missed anything, check it out there. Probably be a day or 2 before those pop up.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us, and hoping I can speak to everyone that we had fun tonight, and we hope that you join us next time.
Yeah, join us next time.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Mm.